Let's crochet an easy amigurumi bee. You'll need some medium weight yarn in yellow, black and white, a 3.5mm crochet hook and some toy stuffing. You'll also need black beads for the eyes, black sewing thread and yarn and sewing needles. If you want, you can use a stitch marker to mark the beginning of each round and pins to mark the position of the eyes before sewing them in place. You'll also need some scissors. If you're following along with my amigurumi kit, you'll already have everything you need except for the scissors. Now let's make our little bee. You'll start by making an adjustable ring with black yarn. Hold the tail end of the yarn by your palm, then wrap the ball end around your index finger. Slide your hook under the loop, grab the working end of the yarn and pull it through the loop. Carefully slide the loop off your finger. Yarn over and pull the yarn through the loop on your hook. Now you're ready to work the first round of stitches into the loop. For round 1, you'll work 6 single crochet stitches into the loop. Insert your hook into the loop, yarn over and pull the yarn through. Yarn over again and pull the yarn through all the loops on your hook. This counts as 1 single crochet stitch. Repeat this 5 more times. When you have 6 single crochet stitches in the loop, pull on the tail end of the yarn to close the ring. For round 2, work 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch from round 1. Insert your hook under both loops of the very first stitch you made. Yarn over and pull the yarn through the stitch. Yarn over again and pull the yarn through all the loops on your hook. Repeat to make another single crochet stitch in the same space. This is also called an increase. To complete round 2, work 2 stitches into each remaining stitch. You should have 12 stitches at the end of round 2. Now it's time for a color change. Cut your yarn and pull up on the loop until it slips all the way through. You're going to join this round with an invisible join. Insert your hook into the second stitch of round 2 from back to front. Grab the tail and pull it through. Now insert your hook into the back loop of the last stitch from bottom to top. Grab the yarn tail and pull it through. You'll see you've made a little V shape that blends in with the rest of the stitches. To join the new color, make a slip knot using your yellow yarn and slip it onto your hook. Insert your hook into the stitch next to the invisible join. Yarn over and pull the yarn through the stitch. Yarn over again and pull through all the loops on your hook. This is called a standing single crochet. Now work another single crochet in the same space. Then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. To complete round 3, work 2 single crochet in the next stitch, then 1 single crochet in the next stitch until the end of the round. As you get towards the end of the round, you can crochet over the yarn tail to help keep the end secure. When you get to the final stitch of round 3, work through the front loops of the final stitch and the invisible join. This just helps make the color change less obvious. You should have 18 stitches at the end of round 3. For round 4, work 2 single crochet in the next stitch, then 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Repeat these 4 stitches 5 more times. You should have 24 stitches at the end of round 4. For round 5, simply work 1 single crochet in each stitch around. You should still have 24 stitches at the end of round 5. Now it's time to change back to black yarn, so cut your yarn and pull the end through. Close the yellow round with an invisible join. Tie a slip knot in your black yarn and make a single crochet in the stitch next to the invisible join. Single crochet in the remaining 23 stitches of the round. When you get to the invisible join, remember to work through the front loops to make the stripes look a little neater. At the end of round 6, you should still have 24 stitches. For rounds 7, 8, and 9, simply work a single crochet in each stitch around. You should still have 24 stitches left at the end of round 9. Now you'll change back to yellow yarn, cut the black yarn and pull the end through. Make an invisible join. Make a slip knot with your yellow yarn and work a single crochet in the stitch next to the join. Single crochet in each stitch around. remember to work through the front loops of the invisible join. For round 11, single crochet in each stitch around. Now it's time to make the decreases that will shape the face. To make a decrease, insert your hook into the front loop of the next stitch from bottom to top. Insert your hook into the front loop of the next stitch, again from bottom to top. Yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops. Yarn over again and pull the yarn through all the loops on your hook. This counts as one decrease. Work a normal single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. To complete round 12, work a decrease and single crochet in the next 2 stitches 5 more times. You should have 18 stitches left at the end of round 12. For round 13, work a decrease, then single crochet in the next stitch. Repeat this 5 more times. You should have 12 stitches left at the end of round 13. Now add your stuffing, making sure your bee is nice and puffy. For round 14, work 6 decreases. You should have 6 stitches left at the end of round 14. Now cut your yarn, leaving a long tail for sewing, and pull the loop through. To sew up the hole, thread the yarn into your yarn needle. Now pass the needle through the front loop of each stitch around, from bottom to top. Pull tightly to close the hole. Stick your needle into the middle of the hole and out somewhere on the bee's body. Pull through. To secure the yarn, I like to tie a little knot. Then hide the knot inside the body. Cut away any excess yarn. Now you have your bee's body and it's time to make the wings. Using white yarn, make an adjustable ring. Work 6 single crochet stitches into the ring. Pull the end tightly to close the hole. Cut your yarn and finish off. You've just made one little wing. Now repeat the steps for the second wing. Start with an adjustable ring. Work 6 single crochet stitches into the ring. Pull the ring closed. Cut the yarn and finish off. All that's left is to sew your little bee together. I like to use pins to position the eyes before sewing them on. Place the pins in line with row 12 of the body on the bottom half of the face. Now take a length of black thread, about 60 centimeters long, and fold it in half. Thread the ends through your sewing needle. Secure the thread to the bee behind one of the eyes, like this. Then pass the needle through to the other eye. Thread your bead onto the needle and sew it in place. I use about 3 stitches to make it secure. Pass the needle back to the first eye. Thread the bead onto the needle and sew it in place. Now sew a tiny mouth between the eyes. To finish off, bring the needle out somewhere on the bee's body. Tie a little knot and hide it inside the body. Cut away the excess thread. Now we'll sew the wings on. I like to position them in the middle of the black stripe, about 2 stitches apart. First thread the shorter yarn tail of the first wing onto your yarn needle. Stick the needle into the top of the bee between round 7 and 8 of the body and pull the yarn through. Thread the tail of the second wing onto your needle. Stick your needle into the position of the second wing, about 2 stitches away from the first wing. Pull the yarn through. Now you can check on the position of the wings before sewing them in place. Reposition the wings if you're not happy with the placement. To sew the wings on, thread the longer tail onto your needle. Sew under a stitch on the body, then through the middle of the wing. Under the next stitch on the body, then through the last stitch of the wing. Bring the yarn end out at the same position as one of the other tail ends. Now sew the second wing in place. To secure the yarn, I like to tie 2 ends together, then hide the knot inside the body. Repeat with the remaining 2 ends. Cut away any excess yarn and your little amigurumi bee is complete.